a investigative journalist named Christian Hartsock, who did what Nick Shirley did. Just went to a bunch of locations that supposedly are providing services at taxpayer expense and find out what's going on. Here's part of what he found out. Number 45.
Printed sign closed for lunch. We will return shortly. It seems to be a pretty permanent looking, it's not just a sticky note. It does not seem like a temporary tag you just put on a door to say out to lunch. It says out to lunch. Okay. Well, I take it that they are still out to lunch. Maybe they're all out to lunch together. Great Life Hospice. Okay. Is it a whole lunch outing amongst healthcare competitors? Hi.
No, this is not hospice. I don't.
This is not hospice? Okay, well, what kind of health do you provide here?
I'm sorry, you can't come.
But it says 9 to 5. Hello? It's open, so let's go in. I'm documenting this for my grandma because I'm trying to enroll her in healthcare.
Soliciting.
Oh, I'm not soliciting. So convenient. Every possible healthcare need you could possibly need all in one building on one floor. Hi, could you help me with something? I'm trying so hard to get her some healthcare, and no one will talk to me in this building.
I don't care.
In one of the buildings was an auto body repair shop. Now, I'd never seen an auto body repair shop on the second floor of an office building, so I decided to knock on the door and see what they thought of the dozens of hospice offices surrounding theirs. But when I started asking the guy questions, it escalated pretty quickly.
Why are you taking picture? Why are you asking some questions?
Because I'm curious what's going on. There's so many healthcare offices here and hospice offices.
Did you see any healthcare offices?
Yes, yeah, I see dozens. Have I done anything illegal?
No, hold on. Here we are.
911 for the city of Los Angeles.
I don't know who
You're
are.
calling. You're calling the police.
Yes.
So
Yes, ma'am. Some person coming to building and he asking some questions. Who you are? Why you are here? You know what kind of business you're doing? I want to know who is this person.
Let me get you over to the police operator. Hold on.
Yes, please.
you could have just asked me to leave. You're threatening to assault me while you have the police on. Now you are assaulting.
Hold on.
Now you are
Why
assaulting.
you taking my picture? You know, why you coming my street?
You should not have the police on the line while you're assaulting me. Well, that was very interesting. The only responsive business, at least, was that gentleman who got all up in my face for recording.
Now, these are supposedly hospice and home health care companies here in LA County. The gentleman in the video is an investigative journalist. He's worked with people like James O'Keefe. He's a filmmaker. Please welcome to the show, Christian Hartsock.
Hi, Larry.
Christian, nice to see you again. How are you?
Excellent. It's great to see you.
Well, nice to see that you're safe.
You go back a long way.
Nice to see that you're safe and sound. You weren't assaulted. Give us a backstory on your investigation.
Well, so it was the California Courier that spearheaded this investigation, and they had been in touch with Assemblywoman Alexandra Macedo of Tulare County, who was looking into why we're spending so much as a state on healthcare and getting such meager results. And so she identified these buildings. There's 31% of the nation's hospice and healthcare companies in the United States are registered in LA County. Not 31% of the hospice and home care companies in California, but 31% of the hospice and home care companies in the United States of America are registered in LA County, which, by the way, only 2% of the elderly population is in. So she thought that was very interesting. So she actually looked and noticed all of these hundreds of hospice and healthcare companies registered to the same address. About 3 different addresses that I went to. Two in Van Nuys or 2 in North Hollywood, 1 in Van Nuys, I believe, on Victory Boulevard and Friar Street. And we went to. She noticed that there was no ADA compliance. You could not even fit a wheelchair through the front door. So I don't know how these these patients are getting in, and then they're all on. Most of them are on the second floor. So, and in context, you zoom out. There have been 2,100 complaints from January 2015 to August 2021. And around 350 allegations of fraud and abuse, and indicators that LA County networks were engaging in some sort of large and organized effort to defraud Medicare and Medi-Cal hospice programs. There's $3.5 billion in Medi-Cal funds that those very hospices and healthcare companies have access to. So she went to take a look. I went and took a look, and you saw what I saw. There's all these out to lunch signs, some laminated to the door, at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, coincidentally, all of them out to lunch at the same time at odd hours. And then, that gentleman who got very hyphy with me for asking questions. And, the whole thing was very suspicious. And, and it's especially suspicious that you have Governor Newsom, doing absolutely nothing about it.
So, Christian, these places where you went to, they're supposed to be having elderly people there inside these offices treating them?
You would think, but I didn't see I saw people going in and out of the buildings. I watched the buildings for some time. The one on Friar Street, for instance, had young people, middle-aged people walking in and out. Maybe it was a shared building space. That was the one I didn't even get into. And then the one on Victory, which you saw most of the footage of, I didn't see any elderly people. The people that are in the video are the entire population of that building on that day, for all I knew. That was the only human contact I made on that. I didn't see a single elderly person, not a single wheelchair, not a single no one, and no one coming to the doors.
According to CBS, Christian, 3 years ago, a California state auditor saw that LA County had a 1,500% increase in hospice companies since 2010. That's 6 times the national average relative to its elderly population. And nobody is looking, nobody is checking, nobody cares.
Yeah, and nobody's curious. I mean, well, a few people are curious. Assemblywoman Macedo is. Her co-signer is Tom Lackey. So she's written a letter to Governor Newsom, who, by the way, because of the audit that was about 4 years ago, there's supposed to be regulations put in place for hospice care and home care facility verification that were supposed to go into effect this past January. Obviously, they're not. We found this. I found this in just a few weeks ago, and they're clearly not in compliance. Nothing has been done as of January. And Governor Newsom has been governor for how long? How long? And he was lieutenant governor. He has done,
Yeah, governor for 8 years, lieutenant governor for 8 years, and a mayor for 8 years. Now, the CBS News report found that of the 1,800 hospices in LA County, 700 of them had gotten several red tags for fraud, but they still get their money. Nobody's been shut down. Nobody's gone to jail.
Yes. Well, the Newsom administration had become aware of possible fraud during the licensing process for hospice facilities and continued to give out these licenses regardless. Now, Newsom has been bragging that he's shut down, 280 facilities. That's about one floor of one of those buildings. I'm hyperbolizing, of course, but why has nothing been done to prevent this from happening in the future? And why is it still happening? If he's shut them down, why are they still there? Why are the signs still up? Why are they still out to lunch?
We just have 45 seconds or so left, Christian. So what's the next step? What's going to happen? Has there been any reaction to your expose?
Yeah, well, there seems to have been a lot of reaction. Now, a few things need to happen. My understanding, existing laws need to be enforced. You have to have a working number. Also, we also tried calling these, but most of them are Google numbers. People didn't even answer, or they were wrong numbers or changed. You have to have ADA compliant ramps. This is just scraping the surface. But the Newsom administration was supposed to adopt these regulations and establish the process of verifying the identity and qualifications of hospice agency management personnel. Hasn't been done. Maybe we need a new governor.
Christian,
Maybe that's what needs to
I've got a
happen.
feeling it
But
may
all
be,
we can do as journalists is point a flashlight.
I've got a feeling it may be a campaign issue when the man runs for president. Christian, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.